Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday evening episode of Unscripted, the sports podcast. We're brought to you by BS3 Radio with Spreaker and Northeast Streaming Sports. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays at noon Eastern Time. Sometimes we run a little late on Saturday, but you can find us on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you like and share. If you're watching us, if you want to find us on YouTube, look under Unscripted and look under any of these guys, Logan Landers, Big Shaw, Jay McLevin, and you can find our Unscripted show, or you can find lots of things these guys are up to in the sports world. While you're watching us here on Facebook, we love to have your comments and your interaction. We love for you to be part of our show. We encourage that. We got our guys tonight. Oh, I'm your moderator, Melanie. And then our guys tonight, our analysts, Logan Landers.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing on this wonderful Tuesday night? Ready to talk some sports with all these great guys.
All right. I got Big Shaw.
What's up, everybody?
And the sweet baby. And Jay McLevin.
Hey, what's up, H-Town? Let's get after it.
And our very special guest tonight, we've got Pistol Pete Thorlacius, and he's going to tell, I may have ruined his name. He's going to tell us about what he does. Give us a quick
I don't know. I'm definitely not an analyst. And these
You're not an analyst.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm not an analyst. I work in a break room with a bunch of good guys. There's a bunch of us. We break cards. We break helmets. We break jerseys. West Coast Card Breaks is where you can find us. We're all West Coast.
Coast.
I know you guys I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know. Okay. We love the South.
All right, guys. Y'all ready to get started on our first topic?
Let's do it, Mel.
All right. Up first, we've got who would you have start Game 7 of the World Series? Jay, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I've had a pleasure on the, being a Houston Astros fan to watch a lot of really great pitchers. If y'all don't know, Kurt Schilling was on our staff for a very short, brief time, and then we traded him off. God, I hate that trade. And then we had Randy Johnson for about 2 months, which I think is one of the greatest pitchers ever. And then we had Nolan Ryan, and the list just goes on and on and on, right? Strikeout King, Nolan Ryan, just amazing. So, when I was thinking like who would I want in Game 7, I want a guy that's got a really good WAR, really good ERA, good under pressure, those types of things, good whip, things of that nature, right? And when I looked at who I thought would be the best at it, you got to have Randy Johnson as your guy, game time guy. You could probably say, Glavine and Maddox and all those guys, and you wouldn't be wrong to go with those. But for me, if I'm Game 7 and everything's on the line, who I want on the mound, I want that big, giant Randy Johnson throwing the pitch. The guy, just a couple of brief stats on him. He won, 303 games, lost 166, had a 3.9 career ERA with a WAR of 110.6. The guy, for some reason, as a pitcher, they typically get worse with age, right? Typically. That's the way human nature works. But for some reason with Randy Johnson, when that guy hit his 30s, he just took off and became a legend. And I think he's one of the few guys that actually, besides Nolan Ryan, and a few other guys out there like Clemens and Pettit and things like that, Randy Johnson is one of those guys that just got better with age. The best season he had, like I said, I watched it for 2 months. 2 months in Houston. The guy went in 11 starts. In 11 starts, he went 10-1. He had 4 shutouts with an ERA of 1.28. Folks, 4 shutouts and 11 starts with a 1.28 ERA. That's just freaking unheard of. The guy won the Cy Young for the next 4 seasons after he was with the Astros in '98. So for the next 4 seasons after that stint, he won 4 Cy Youngs with the Diamondbacks. I mean, who does 4 straight Cy Youngs? That's just crazy. You know, with the Diamondbacks, he had an ERA of 2.63. He struck out 329 batters in 5 seasons. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, probably the only one that struck out more than that would have been Nolan Ryan because he is a strikeout leader. But, he was striking out per 9 innings. He was striking out 12 batters. That's just ridiculous to strike out 12 batters in 9 innings. The list just goes on and on and on, right? I mean, in 2001, and he did his postseason magic where he got 5 consecutive wins. I mean, to include 2 complete games. The man had 2 complete games. I mean, 2 complete game shutouts in postseason, which is why he became the postseason legend. His pitching line for the postseason was 33 innings with 19 hits, 4 earned runs and 6 walks, and 38 strikeouts with an ERA of 1.08. It's just freaking phenomenal with a .75 whip. How he won? He was co-MVP with Curt Schilling, which, by the way, was another Houston Astro and another great. Phenomenal. Probably that Arizona team was one of the best teams put together in terms of pitching wise, and that's why they won the World Series. Randy Johnson, game starter, can't beat it, hands down. Randy Johnson, do you want them out if it's Game 7?
All right, Pete, what do you think? Who would you have start Game 7?
Man, that's kind of perfect that I went second because being from Seattle, I watched Randy Johnson pitch through a good portion of his career. And, I got a lot of feedback from the guys in the room. I heard a lot of Madison Bumgarner or Clayton Kershaw. There's a lot of guys out there. But, for me, growing up and watching baseball in Seattle, there is not one guy I'd rather see in my Game 7 than the king himself, Felix Hernandez. Not only did he never pitch in a World Series, he played almost his entire career in shitbag Seattle and never got a chance to show what a competitor he was. And this is the guy that would have died on the mound for you in Game 7. I mean, my first thought was, like, you put in Ed Harris and then you bring in Wild Thing Vaughn to close out a Game 7, right? Like, that's what everyone does. You do Harris, Vaughn, right? Like, but no, Felix Hernandez territory, if I had to pick a guy, it's the most loyal baseball player I've ever seen in my life, and it's Felix Hernandez. This guy, I begged for Seattle to trade him the last half of his career because I wanted to see him pitch in the playoffs. And no, he spent almost his entire career playing for the Mariners, which I'm a Mariners fan, playing for the Mariners with almost no chance to ever pitch in a World Series. And he knew it, but he was just a loyal guy. And I've never seen a more fierce competitor in my life, ever. If a game was on the line, and there wasn't many, I'll give you that. There was never many when he was pitching. But if the game was on the line, that was the guy you wanted on the mound because that guy was going to give everything he had, every ounce of blood he had, he would have dropped on that mound. Felix Hernandez is my guy. I watched Randy Johnson pitch. I give the unit credit. He made his name in Seattle. The guy was a monster, but there's nobody else that I would have ever picked besides Felix Hernandez. And I'm out.
Hey, we got comments
All
rolling
right,
in.
Shaw.
Greg Maddox. Greg Maddox. That's one I'm going with.
Hey. With our boy Ben Sudreth over here. How you doing, Ben?
One of my
Nice to see you on
boys,
the show,
Greg Maddox.
I like it. See, that's how you like. That's how we like Shaw. Short, sweet, to the point.
Greg Maddox.
2-word answers.
Greg Maddox is a savage.
All right. Well, I might as well wrap it up here. I'm gonna stick with Atlanta also. Jay, you mentioned Maddox and Glavine, and Pete, you mentioned Felix Hernandez, a Brave for a hot second, and Shaw, you just said Greg Maddox. But I'm gonna go a little bit outside the wall. I got John Smoltz. Can't go wrong with him.
Can't go wrong.
Absolute heat. The heater. Look, this guy's versatile too. He can start. He was a reliever as well, and he was dominant as both. Led the Braves pitching staff forever and ever. One of their best pitchers of all time. That big three was absolutely phenomenal. And in the postseason, he wasn't a slouch either, Jay. I know you always like to bring up some stats. I got some stats on my own here. Postseason ERA, only 2.67. Phenomenal. 15-4 win-loss record of all time throughout his career. Pitched from his postseason, it was basically going through 91 to 2009. Already, just phenomenal player. He had that complete game in the World Series in 91. They did end up losing that game, but he still had a heck of a performance, even though they did take the loss, unfortunately. What I like though is his strikeouts to walk ratio, because that lets you know if the pitcher, if your pitcher's struggling a little bit, or if he's just barely getting to the strike zone. He had 199 career strikeouts in the postseason and only 67 walks. And you gotta think this guy played in the 90s, early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, where the bats were absolutely phenomenal, playing up against guys who are in the Hall of Fame right now. And Smoltz was mowing them down left and right. So nice to see Sean. Me and Sean are at least on the same pitching staff. But
hey, I hear you, Logan. I mean, for a championship game, you throw stats out the window.
Yeah, I'll throw stats out. Throw them out the window.
I'm looking for a competitor. I'm looking for a monster, a guy that's just going to die out there for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what I'm saying. When you look at Randy Johnson, who doesn't think that guy was when he was in the dugout? Nobody would even go anywhere near that guy. Like they just stayed as far away as they could because that guy was in the freaking zone. And it was standard understood that you don't mess with Randy Johnson when he's pitching. You leave him alone and let that beast let him do his thing.
He killed a bird.
Freaking Randy Johnson, man! I'm telling you, that dude was mountainous. It seemed like that guy was like 7 feet tall.
Well, he was 6'11".
Whenever he was horrifying on the mound, though. So
yeah. Sorry,
well, I'm glad one of y'all said Randy Johnson because I was going to say him. I was going to say him too. That was my backup with John Smoltz. So you can't go wrong with Randy, though.
You can't go wrong with John. You can't really go wrong with any of those Braves pitchers. Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox. I mean, that was just one hell of a combination.
It really was. Hell of a time for me as a Braves fan. But, oh, well. All right, Mel, what's up next?
All right, up next, best sports team of all time. And it doesn't matter which sport. All right, Pete, lead us out on that one.
Yeah, I got nominated for this one, and mine's gonna be so far out there, no one has it. But you said team. You didn't say most talented. You didn't say, the heaviest favorite. You said best team. And so for me, I'm going 1982-83 NC State Wolfpack, the Cardiac Pack, Jim Valvano and the Wolfpack. Those guys won 9 games straight in the ACC tournament. They also went on to win 6 games straight in the ACC tournament and then 6 games in the NCAA tournament to win. And they were by far not the most talented team. I mean, you had Phi Slama Jama, you had Virginia, you had North Carolina, you had Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV running Rebels. Those guys came in and won that tournament. And not only did they win that tournament, probably the most historic play in college basketball history, right? They won on a tip-in at the buzzer, like the most historic play in college basketball history. Not only did they win that title, they changed the way basketball is played. Right? They were the first team that successfully fouled and extended games in a game. They were losing by 10. They were the first team that started fouling to catch up. They were the first hack-a-shack team. They changed the way basketball was played. This was before they had a time clock, okay? So a team could play 4 corners and throw the pass for 3 minutes long, and, when they were up 20 points, the game was over with 10 minutes left. Well, Jim Valvano, Nate McMillan, Thurl Bailey, those guys came in and said, we're going to foul them. We're going to put them on the line. We're going to make them prove it, right? And now every single big basketball game you've ever watched since 82, 83, you see the hack-a-shack. You see them fouling, right? They need to get in the game. They're down 8 with 2 minutes left. They're going to foul. Well, that wasn't a thing before 82, 83. And you said best team. These guys were not talented at all. I mean, they were talented, but they weren't talented like Phi Slama Jama was talented. They
Right.
weren't the best team. They weren't the most talented team. They were the best team. They were the team that won it, and they won it as a team. There was no superstars on that team. And that's where I get my answer for the best team. And that's all I got to say.
All right, that's a nice kind of off the wall pick. I like it.
All
Cardiac.
right, Logan.
All right, so I'm gonna go basically the complete opposite of Pete there. I'm gonna go with a team that was expected to win it all, did win it all, and did it in phenomenal fashion. I'm not gonna go the Chicago Bulls route because that's gonna get picked, I'm sure, or it's gonna get played out. I'm gonna go a little bit different here. I'm gonna go with the 1998 New York Yankees. Reason being, they won 114 games in the regular season. That's tied for second or third all time. I know the Mariners, Pete, they got the record with 116, so they're 2 games short. They got the World Series, of course. They won their division by 22 games, which is unheard of. Yeah. They had a who's who of, in their starting lineup with Jeter. They had Joe Torre as their manager, Jorge Posada. And they had that phenomenal pitching staff, Andy Pettitte, who was also a great postseason pitcher as well, David Cohn, so on and so forth, Bernie Williams too. Like I say, you can just go through that whole lineup, and there's just guys you've heard of who've produced and who've looked really good their whole career. So the 98 Yankees were absolutely freaking phenomenal, and they just kind of ran through everybody. They played the Padres in that World Series, and they swept them 4-0. And the Padres were looking really good that year too. That was their only shot at a World Series, and the Yankees just stomped them into the dirt, honestly. So my pick for the best sports team of all time, I'm going to go with the 1998 New York Yankees. Hell of a ball club, and I don't know if they're ever going to get back to that kind of success, but, man, those 90s Yankees and early 2000s Yankees were an absolute force to be reckoned with, and I got the 98 team as my best sports team of all time.
All right, Jay, what you got?
Best I was really torn on this. And by the way, Pete, that was a good pick with NC State.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
I was torn. I was torn between 2 teams. Number one, the 72 Dolphins, and what they did. Speaking of no talent, that's why they call it the no-name defense. Or do I go with Boston Celtics, Bill Russell era? And I went ahead and went with the Bill Russell era of the Boston Celtics because it was pure freaking dominance. They did what the Lakers never did. They did what the Bulls never did. They did what nobody ever did. They won 8 titles in a row. Do you know how hard it is to win 8 titles in a row? Now, you may say, well, Jason, they only had like 8 to 12 teams. How hard could it have been? Think about it. You got 32 teams. All the talent is displaced between 32 teams. You take all that talent, rein it back in, and put all that talent in 12 teams. Now you're looking at it concentrated. You basically got super teams all over the place because there ain't but so many teams, and there's a plethora of players that are great. So even though they didn't have maybe 32 teams, the competition was that much stronger. The competition was that much more evenly put out. So if you won 8, you didn't win 8 against like a couple of teams here or a couple of teams, in terms of dominance. You won, the whole league was pretty good. So, and obviously, look, Red Auerbach, man, come on, man. You think Phil Jackson was good? And I'm not saying Phil Jackson wasn't good because the man got like 11 titles or something like that. But he didn't play with the competition level like what Auerbach came up with. And Bill Russell, by honestly, the guy's got like 11 rings. That Boston Celtics under Auerbach got they got close to 11 titles. I think he got like 8 or 9. But, what Russell could do, what they did with 8 straight titles, it's ridiculous because, like I said, there's only 12 teams. And that's why I got that Bill Russell. I think, by arguably, if you look what they did, was 8 titles in a row. Nobody's ever won 8 titles in a row. Phil could never do it. And he got it all with one team. He didn't have to go to different teams to do it. He did it with that same team. That means his drafting, his free agency, everything that he did was all within that one team. You know how hard it is to go 8 times and win 8 times? It's freaking hard. And that's why I got them. Otherwise, I would have picked the 72 Dolphins. But I went with that Bill Russell just because of that effort.
All right. I like it, Jay.
Nice pick.
All right, Big Shaw, wrap it up. Best sports team of all time.
The 1998 New York Yankees.
All right.
That is my pick. That is my pick.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Shaw. I didn't know. Keep in mind, guys, we don't rehearse this before anything. We are unscripted. We don't go over each other's notes.
My Yankees. I don't even write notes.
This happens all the time.
I don't even write notes.
It just goes off the cuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's keep it going.
All right, guys. Number 3. Which is more impressive, Tom Brady playing in 10th Super Bowl or LeBron playing the 10th NBA Finals? Logan, you going to start us out on that one?
Yeah, this is actually a really good question. Jay or Shaw, whichever one of y'all put this in our Google Doc. Props to y'all. Man, this one's tough because both of these guys are absolutely studs at each of their respective sports. Tom Brady is, he, in my opinion, he's the best football player of all time. And LeBron, he's always going to be argued up there with Michael and all the others, of course. He's always going to be in that discussion. But in terms of getting to either the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, it's two different type of scenarios. Because in basketball, we saw with LeBron back in 2007, back when he was still kind of young, he led that Cavs team full of just a bunch of guys who no one really even remembers to the finals. And obviously they got killed, but still, he led them to the finals. With Tom Brady, he had one of the best coach, if not the best coach of all time with Bill Belichick. Like we talked about our last show, just how great Belichick was. And just the revolving door of teammates both of these guys have had throughout their career, their long tenured career, Brady a little bit longer, is absolutely brutal. I mean, they've both sustained injuries before. They've both been banged up, but they've both reached the mountaintop multiple times. And for each of them, for Brady to about get to his 10th, and LeBron's played in 10 or he's close to it. It's tough, man. But if I had to pick which one's more impressive, in I would say more kind of recent years, I'd go with Tom Brady just because of the fact that he's just been doing so good for so long, and with all of his teammates that he's had, all of the ups and downs, all the injuries that his teammates have had, I gotta put him there. LeBron, no joke, love him, love LeBron. I got a little LeBron right here, of course, so I do like some of LeBron, but I think overall, when you look at just just football in general, I think it's a little bit more impressive that Brady's got to the 10th Super Bowl, since no one's ever done that before. And I got Tom Brady slightly get the edge in this one.
Yeah.
All right, Shaw, what do you think? Brady or LeBron?
Honestly, I can't even compare it, but I'll go with Tom Brady. But I didn't do the comparison thing because I really don't see it. I think we're giving Tom Brady just a little bit too much credit. But I have to just throw it out there. I just go with old Tom because I like him. I just give it to Tom. I love LeBron, but I just give it to Tom. That's it.
All right, Pete. Tom or LeBron?
Yeah, man, I'm with Big Shaw on this. I hate the question. I hate the either or. I hate the either or on this one. I think both of them are great, right? Both of them are great. Both remembered is great, but I'm not a fan of either. I don't think either of them are the greatest. And Brady, hear me out. I'll have to share some box feeds on the Deflate Gate. Like some of his shit that was done with deflated balls that made their turnover ratio half of what the rest of the NFL was turning the ball over. Mm-hmm. So if you can't tell me that a turnover doesn't change a football game, then we can't talk, right? Like I don't want to talk to you about it. It's ridiculous. They were fumbling the ball for 7 years straight at half of what the rest of the league was fumbling by, and by like 70% more than the third place team that was doing it, right? Like there's an article on Vox that has the stats. I've shared the article on my page. We've all about it. God bless Tom Brady. God bless I gotta go Tom Brady because it's football, right?
Yeah.
As Eric Wood said, blah blah sports. You're talking one of 22 guys, and they have no business in the Super Bowl this year. None. The Saints and Packers would beat them 9 times out of 10, but they hit that 10% random every time, right? Like they hit that, they won that game. But if you play those games back 10 times, the Saints and the Packers probably win those games. They're better teams this year. Hey, much respect, right? Like, hey, great job, Tom Brady. Great job, Buccaneers defense, right? Because defense wins Super Bowls, defense wins championships. So my pick's gonna be Scottie Pippen and his 6-0 NBA Finals because he was on the all-defensive NBA team all 6 of those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And this motherfucker played defense every year, and neither of those two that you asked, excuse my language, I'm sorry, first time on the show, neither of those two played defense. God bless you, LeBron. I know you stick your hand out here and there. You ain't never took a big charge. You ain't never done anything great on defense. And so I say Scottie Pippen because I don't want the MJ LeBron argument. They're both greats.
Yeah.
Right? But Scottie Pippen 6-0 in the finals is phenomenal. And this guy was all NBA defensive first team every season. And we all know defense wins championships, period. So I hate this question, but I'll go Tom Brady.
I couldn't, yeah.
1B, Scottie Pippen, and I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, you got a final word on this one?
Well, damn it was my question, so y'all could all go to hell. Hey, listen, no, on a real take though, I'm going with Tom Brady, man. You know, listen, I like LeBron. You know, hey, nothing against him, but Brady, you know, you gotta take a lot of hits, and football's it really is a physical sport, much more than football. And to get there 10 times and to not miss a game and things like that, hey, I tip my hat off to Tom Brady. And Deflategate or not, look, you can say it 9 times out of 10. Nobody gives a damn about the first 9. We only care about the last one. That 10%. That 10% is what gets you to the Super Bowl. Because you know everything else, just if you're not like Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Can I still like 20 seconds?
Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. Drew Brees, he on the couch and he won 9 times. Aaron Rodgers, he on the couch too, and he won 9 times. But that 0.1% that Brady took, playoff Brady. That's why he ain't on the couch. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you. Can I just say, though, that Dante Stallworth improved when he went to the Patriots? He improved his touches per fumble by like 100% when he went to the Patriots from New Orleans, from the Saints. And we're talking Dante Stallworth. We're not talking Brady. We're not talking Breeze. We're talking this motherfucker fumbled like 1 time every 6 he touched the ball in New Orleans. And he went to New England and he fumbled like 1 time every 15. Like, it's a fact that those deflated balls did have something to do, but I picked Brady too, so I'm not disagreeing. I think Belichick has more to do with it than Brady. Like, I really do. But I really think there's something to do. And I'm a Pete Rose guy. I want Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, right?
I want him to.
Let one cheater in, let them all in, right?
Hey, Pete, you ever heard the saying? Hey, you ever heard the saying, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit?
Hey, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. We had the same pick, Jay. We had the same pick. Goddamn,
these linebackers going.
Let's do it. Last topic of the night, Mel.
All right, here we go. We're going to go with the top 5 linebackers of all time, and I'm going to take your number 5 pick first. Shaw, who you got?
Oh, let's see who I got. Well, I got to do it. I wasn't around to see this guy play, but I wasn't around to see. Actually, I wasn't around to see 4 or 5. But my boy Dick Buckets, he is my number 5.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm putting Mike Singletary there at number 5 for the Bears from 81-92. Guy's a 9-time All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl 20 winner. Come on, man. He got 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 85 and 88. But if you ever watch Mike Singletary, and I watched this guy, I saw Mike Singletary play in that 85 game when they won, and Walter Payton was there and so forth, and McMahon was there, and he had a very intense focus. Singletary, if you ever watched him play, you always look at his eyes, and that dude looked like he was going to kill you just with his eyes alone. That's what he was known for, is his intense stare. He was the leader of the 85 Bears defense, which is arguably the best defense in NFL history. With the 85
it's the greatest defense in
history. Led that one.
It's not even arguably. You are correct.
All right, Logan.
Man, this one's tough. But if I had to pick, basically, I was actually going between myself about would it be Dick Butkus or would it be Mike Singletary?
Yeah.
And I'm a lean with Mike Singletary a little bit. Like you said, just like you just brought up, Jay, absolutely phenomenal. That Bears team back in the day was running roughshod through anybody and everybody. And I got Mike Singletary at number 5.
All right, Pete.
Man, they all Super Bowl shuffle, right? Right? Like, hey, Singletary, Butkus, all great, right? Because Urlacher is another one, right? What team has that many linebackers that you can name? Right? It's crazy. I'm going to go way out here, and it's just to piss off my buddy Eric, who's a big Ravens fan. And I'm going to drop him 4 spots from the top spot because he's a rat and he went stateside. I'm going to go Ray Lewis with number 5. He's got to drop one hell of a top 4 spots.
That's a big drop.
Yeah.
It's bad when Shaw says it.
The rest of you probably got him number 1, and he is probably he had the most tackles, but for me, anyone that goes stateside has to drop a few notches in my book, right? This guy went stateside. He's not a murderer, but he went stateside. So Ray Lewis, number 5, and that's only to just give him credit for probably being the greatest linebacker of all time. But I had to cut him. Had to cut him from the top.
All right.
All right, Shaw.
If you knew the room that I was in, you would understand.
Well, are we on number 4 now?
We're on number 4, Shaw.
Mike Singletary. He made 4.
I like it.
It was a hard fight. It's a lot of linebackers. I said, man.
Oh yeah.
Mike Singletary. It was a crazy one. I had more. Actually, I had I can't say it. I'll let we'll finish it up. I'll see you later.
All right, Jay. Who's your number 4?
Hey, number 4. It's a Pittsburgh Steelers Iron Curtain Snaggletooth Snarletooth Jack Lambert. 74 to 84. 8-time All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl 4 times. 74 Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in 67 and 83. NFL 100 all-time team. Versatile. You can't say it enough. Versatile middle linebacker. Helped the Steelers win 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Tough player. Had that toothless grin. When he snarled at you, he had no teeth, and he knew he didn't give a damn about no mouth guard. He's going to shove it down your throat. Jack Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Logan. Number 4.
I'm going to go with someone we just talked about. My number 4 is also Jack Lambert. Jay, you always do a great job introing these guys in for me, my man. Let me see. Jack Lamb, he'd clothesline your head off. One of the most toughest linebackers of all time. He'd body slam you on the field. Absolutely great player. That's why I got him at number 4.
All right, Pete, who's your number 4?
I'm going to bring in who should have actually been like 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, but who everyone forgets about when they remember the Ravens defense. So I'm going to go another Raven. I'm going to go Terrell Suggs.
Oh, yeah.
Was savage. Terrell Suggs did finish his career top 10 tackles period, and he was also one of the top tackles for loss guys in the world. In the world, nobody beat Terrell Suggs tackles for loss. I think he's top 5 there. Don't quote me, but he was a big reason why Ray Lewis was so good. Ray Lewis was able to roam the field because Terrell Suggs was always home. He was always home, and he was always playing his assignment and making that damn tackle. I'm going to go Terrell Suggs, number 4.
All right.
All right. Moving on to number 3. Shaw, who you got?
I even thought about Peter Bullware. Nobody talk about Peter Bullware. He was awesome too for the Ravens. That was my guy.
Yeah.
That was my man.
They were savage.
That was my man there. But at number 3, I got to put my boy up here. The late Derek Thomas. I had to put him on the list. He was awesome. He was great. But when he passed, I was like, dang, man. So he was awesome. So he's number 3. But my number 1 is awesome. He's a monster. Oh, man, y'all going to like it. Y'all going to like it.
All right, Jay.
Yeah, at number 3, I got pretty much what Shaw had, I think, around number 5, and that's Dick Butkus. How do you not put Dick Butkus in the top 3, man? That dude was freaking crazy, man. 8 times.
Where you put him?
Man, dude, come on now. The damn linebacker award is named after him, for crying out loud.
The
Linebacker award is literally named the Dick Butkus Award in college, high school, and the NFL. It was in a particular area. Now listen, he was in there from 65 to 73, and in that time span, and about 8-year time span, he was arguably the best linebacker in his era. Not all the way around, but in his era, greatest. Ability to blow up anyone in front of him made him a very formidable person. And, look, the guy's 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. How you not have dead? But the damn award is named after him.
Jay is my list. I don't care about what he did. He's right where I put him. Right where I put him. Right there. He's right where I got him. He's right where I got him. And he's going to stay right there.
Yeah.
All right, Logan. Let's see if you guys are still lining up.
I was lined up with Derek Thomas, but I'm gonna go my alternate pick now, since mine got snatched up, and I don't want to be a copycat again. Yeah. Gotta have alternates like the Pro Bowl. So for me, if I had to go with my someone else that needs a little bit more love, I think is the late Junior Seau.
Oh yeah, he needs love.
Amazing career. 20 seasons, 1990 to 02. Got almost 1,500 tackles in his career, 47 sacks. Absolutely feared any stadium he went to. Had a good career with the Dolphins. Also went to the Patriots for a little bit. And man, he's on that New England undefeated team. Don't forget that too. He was there. Yeah. He's doing work on that team. But man, sad to see him go. It's been a while now since we lost him, but absolutely a legendary linebacker.
Yeah, everything we know about, concussions and stuff like that, it all came from that CT scans, and protocol from Seau and a few others, right? I think Aaron Hernandez, unfortunately, what he did was terrible, but he also had really bad concussion issues, too. A lot of the groups, when they have the concussion issues, that tends to mess with that brain in a way that really makes them do things they don't normally want to do, and I feel bad for them, but it is what it is.
All right. Pete, who's your number 3?
Hey, right, number 3. I heard a lot of commotion about number 3, and I heard his name lower on the list, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Whoever brought him up earlier, I think it was Shaw, said Mike Singletary, savage. This guy's eyes changed the game completely. Like, the quarterback saw this guy's eyes. He did not know what to do, whether to turn left or right out of that snap, right? Mike Singletary knew and was a commander on the field. Who said that earlier? Like the 85 Bears are arguably the best defense in the world. No, they were the best defense in the world. They crushed the Patriots in the Super Bowl. None of those games were even close. You had Richard Dent, you had William Perry. I think Charles Tillman was on that team, but nobody was as important as Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary ran that defense, and that defense was the best we've ever seen, I think, in my mind. And I'm not a Bears fan. They were a great defense.
All right.
All right,
close
guys.
to one.
Moving on to number 2. Big Shaw, who you got?
Ray Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis. Uncle Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all he has to say about that.
And that's all I have to say. All right, Jay. Who's your number 2?
Oh man, I'm gonna echo my boy Big Shaw there. Ray Lewis, definitely, man. Come on, man. He's an enforcer in every sense of the damn word.
Mm-hmm.
High profile, intense.
You guys,
intense, unmatched by anybody in his damn era.
Bullshit. He was coached by
defense
Mike Singletary. He was
Mike Singletary was intense too. Don't get me wrong, but Ray Lewis. Come on, man, that's Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis was not Ray Lewis until Mike Singletary was a coach.
I love Singletary. Don't get me wrong, I like Singletary. He's great, but Ray Lewis, I don't know, man. Most Pro Bowl selections by any middle linebacker. The guy's got 13 Pro Bowls. And that's all I got to say about that.
He was my number 1 until he flipped state.
Oh, man.
All right, Logan. Number 2.
I'm gonna go with a crazy one here. The man who was famous in Atlanta in that one Super Bowl for allegedly doing some things, but a great guy on the field. Ray Lewis. Yeah, that's my number 2 pick. Really good player. A lot of energy. One of the best dancers of all time. I'll give him that.
He was a good dancer.
Yeah, he was. Hey, that guy also got Super Bowl MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same damn year. In the year 2000, he got Super Bowl MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. That's never been done before, by the way.
That's true. But yeah, Ray Lewis is my number 2.
All right, number 2, Pete.
I mean, Malcolm Smith was Super Bowl MVP too. And I'm a Seahawks fan, but holy shit, he wasn't the reason why the Seahawks won that Super Bowl. He did have a pick when they busted Manning's weak ass, right? Like when Manning threw the duck up for him to intercept and run all the way back. But hey, that Super Bowl MVP trophy doesn't really do me justice, and
He's gonna do justice.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it all the way back. And this is my only homer pick besides the Felix Hernandez pick I just made 3 times ago. I'm gonna say, and time's gonna tell, Bobby Wagner. This dude is the only stalwart on the Seahawks defense for the past 10 years. He's been there. He's the Legion of Boom. Even though they didn't say he was the Legion of Boom, he's also the savage that's running the defense to this day. Before the Legion of Boom all left town for a paycheck, Bobby Wagner is going to be there in your history books when you read them 20 years from now. I know it's hard to look at it now. Bobby Wagner, every year, top 5 tackles. Every year, top 5 defenses playing and his defense going to the Super Bowl. Bobby Wagner, and he probably should be 5 before Ray Lewis. But hey, I had to switch it up somehow. So that's just me being an asshole. Apologies.
Oh man, I forgot about Chuck Berry. Oh man.
Yeah, y'all seen our comments here?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I'm forgetting meat.
He said Chuck. Concrete Charlie's not going to be in my top 5.
But he's good. Hey, the Silk Curtain. There's a ton of them, man. You know what? Luke Kuechly.
I like Concrete Charlie. Don't get me wrong. I just can't put him in my top 5.
There's guys out there, man, that were Jack Ham. There's guys out there that, at this point, Nobody really knows what they're talking about. They're talking about, we just fucking Google leading tacklers. We just throw up 5 names, right? Like, there's no real answer to this. So that's why I'm throwing B-Wags.
You can pick Lawrence Taylor.
You got a lot of options. All right. Well,
all right, guys. Here we go.
I bet we all have the same number 1.
Here we go. Let's go.
Let's see.
Let's see. We almost had a unanimous number 2. Let's see how we got number 1. Shaw, let's hear it.
Yeah, Deacon Jones. I don't care what nobody say. Deacon Jones. I don't care if he didn't play linebacker. I don't care. Deacon Jones was a bad man. Deacon Jones.
Shaw. No.
Now you tell me Deacon Jones wasn't good. You don't know football. You don't know football.
He's good.
He's good. But
no,
he was a very big name.
He was more than he was great. The man in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's great enough. That man knock your head off.
I'm gonna call him Cassius Clay.
That man knock your head off.
Talking
about Deacon Jones ain't good. What? Oh man, Deacon Jones.
No, Deacon Jones is good, but he ain't number 1.
He my number 1. I don't care what nobody say. He ain't my number 1. My number 1 is Lawrence Taylor.
You don't have your top 5.
He'll break your neck. He'll break your leg. He'll punch you. He'll kill you. He'll stomp on you. He was dangerous. I don't care. Lawrence Taylor is the man.
Damn. He came out of left field with that one.
Lawrence Taylor.
All right, Shaw. You have to wait for a minute. That's a comment about your Deacon Jones pick, Shaw.
Yeah, we got comments
Lawrence
here.
Taylor was good.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
I don't care about this comment.
Frankie was saying my number 1 is going to be a Cowboy. Listen, I love my Cowboys.
He probably will.
But I am,
Randy Gregory.
but I am unbiased. I am very unbiased about my team. So my number 1 is Brian Bosworth from the Seattle. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not.
He really meant Randy Gregory. He really meant to say Randy Gregory was number 1.
I got his jersey. I got Bosworth's jersey autographed.
Man, you didn't hear what Jay said? Jay said Randy Gregory is number 1.
Listen, man, if you ain't got Lawrence Taylor as your number 1, then you clearly are not watching the game of football. Because
Lawrence Taylor wasn't good, Jay.
I said Lawrence Taylor is the clear number 1.
He better be. You right here. You right. It ain't Randy Gregory. From down.
No, it's not. It's definitely not Randy Gregory.
You thought about it.
Listen.
You thought about it.
He's the only, there's only 2 defensive players that have ever gotten the MVP for the NFL. And Lawrence Taylor was one of them. And there's no linebacker that's outside of him. There's no other linebacker that's got the NFL MVP. He redefined the damn position.
But you say Randy Gregory too. I heard you.
Shaw, you need to get a hearing aid or something.
That's some Cowboy fans. Them Cowboy fans always say they love Randy Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
He hot on here. He hot. They love Randy Gregory. That's his boy. Randy Gregory, the best linebacker.
He's throwing the paper at you, Shaw.
All right, Logan. Who's your number 1?
I'm gonna go a little bit off kilter here. My pick is the man who main evented WrestleMania 11 against Bam Bam Bigelow and got the win. Lawrence Taylor. Big W, Lawrence Taylor. Number 1. I gotta say nothing else. We already said all this. Lawrence Taylor. Something's wrong. Shaw, get back in here.
He said run off.
Shaw said, the man said in there, Muhammad Ali, I'm going to call him Cassius Clay.
All right.
Number 1.
Bring it home for us. Let's see what we got.
Oh, man, so tough. I'm going to bring it home with 1A, 1B. Is that okay? Shit, there's no rules here, so I'm going to do it anyways, right?
There you go.
There's no rules.
I'm going to stand back up for this one.
I'm with everybody. I'm Lawrence Taylor. He's the greatest that ever played the game. But 1B, I'm going to call him out because this dude was a savage, right? He didn't play as long as Ray Lewis, but they played essentially the same careers. He played 3 less years than Ray Lewis, and if he would have played the same career as Ray Lewis, he would have passed Ray Lewis in tackles and all that shit, everything.
I know his name. London Fletcher.
Derek Brooks is a guy that was not named on this whole list. He deserves an honorable mention.
Oh, man.
It's LT. Of course it's LT. LT's the greatest, right? Mm-hmm. Any picture, any card, anything you want, but Derek Brooks deserves a 1A honorable mention in this position.
He's great. Honorable mention.
Jay,
right there with London Fletcher and all the rest of them.
Jay,
hey, I'll put my bottom dollar that hey, he is way better than London Fletcher. You talking London Fletcher? Dude, are you kidding me? We're not even close. We're talking Derek Brooks, man. He played 4 less.
Jay just beat Jay high
than Ray Lewis, but Derek Brooks is a savage. And everyone slept on Derek Brooks.
You gotta excuse Jay sometimes because he really think Randy Gregory is one of the best defensive ends in NFL history.
Brian Bosworth, Randy Gregory, Fletcher.
Absolute studs at that position.
He loves Randy Gregory. He obsessed with this man. He adores him.
Say LT, but don't sleep on Derek Brooks. This dude was a savage. His whole career.
Kevin Green.
Oh yeah, Kevin Green.
Kevin Green's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll stack him up with the rest of the white guys, Jack Ham and shit.
Hey, Jay, was who else was the bum in Dallas?
Brian Urlacher, we'll stack him over there.
Yeah.
Who was else the bum in Dallas, Jay? Besides Randy.
Hey, listen. Do not make me come to this computer screen all the way down to Louisiana. Man. Look, Cowboys have some good damn players. You know that. Come on.
They all got dope heads in Dallas. They got dope heads. They got murderers. They got woman beaters. No, that's Baltimore. But it don't matter. If you got a felony, you can't play in Dallas.
Hey, listen. Your guy Miles Garrett tried to kill Will Rudolph with a helmet.
No, he didn't.
Y'all got murderers over there too.
Well, Jerry Jones would have signed him.
Bam!
Jerry Jones would have signed him.
Hey, listen. He might.
He will.
Miles Garrett is the only guy that can take a helmet and beat somebody damn near death with it, and then get a $400 or $500 million contract.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Only in America can you hit somebody with the helmet and then get paid out the zoo.
Oh, I do gotta say one more thing. Before we end the show. I don't know what Jared Goff gonna do in Detroit. I don't even know what's going on in the NFL no more. I think the Rams need to pack their bags and go back to St. Louis, where they come from, because Matthew Stafford is not gonna do nothing.
Fuck yes.
He is not gonna do anything.
Great answer.
Patrick Willis.
He is not. I'm sorry, Patrick Willis. My bad. We should have put it on there. Now, we would have did a top 25. Patrick Willis would have been on there. But
that's just
hey, this is only top 5.
Yeah. We didn't know all day, man.
Top 15 or top 20.
We should have did a top 20, right? If we top 5, so many people you do top 5. Not top 20.
I just want to remind you of Navarro Bowman's leg when he got snapped in half when they lost the Seahawks.
I think Jay would have picked.
He's one of my West Coast guys.
I think Jay would have picked number 1. Randy Gregg would have been number 1. He loved
it. If Gregory could have probably stayed off the cocaine, he probably may have been.
I love your comment, Big Shaw. Hey, man, I think that is the Herschel Walker trade for the Lions.
Yes, it is.
I think Stafford's a bum. We know who he is, right? We know who he is. We know.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Stafford brings. As an NFC West fan, a Seahawks fan, I'm happy to see that bum in the NFC West. Jared Goff has a ceiling. Yeah. This guy's still got a ceiling. He might be okay. They might trade him for another few picks. But the bottom line is they got, whatever the hell, the 2 or 3 first-round draft picks for him. And Stafford's a bum. This guy's a bum. The Rams.
If you think about it, Jared Goff has to have some value. I mean, the guy did make it to this. I know they didn't win the Super Bowl, but he got him to a Super Bowl. So you got to have
They
some
went
value.
to the NFC Championship again this year. Or they went to the game before. They beat the Seahawks in the
And then he was
division.
playing with a broke thumb during part of that championship. I mean,
Yeah.
That's the only problem Jared Goff got was that broken finger. That's it. You're gonna trade the man. And
I'll tell you what, Detroit made out with a good quarterback, and they made out with a good ton of draft capital. I mean,
He's got a huge ceiling.
for a guy that's 32 and almost out of the league, they got a nice little heap of treasure.
Lions are going to be good. Write this shit down for the
But they
next.
got a good coach now in Gamble.
Now they got a good running back in Detroit too.
Yeah,
DeAndre Swift.
They got DeAndre, yeah.
You got Galladay. If they can keep Galladay under contract this year, Detroit's going to be no joke. They just need.
I think took the right direction. I think the Jets with Salah is a good pick, and I think I bet you them Jets get turned around too. I really do. They got a ton of draft capital. They got a ton of cap room.
Who, Jay?
The Jets.
Jay.
The Jets got a good coach.
They're gonna be trash.
No, Salah is a good coach. He's great in San Francisco as defensive coordinator. You know that.
Jay.
The fucking Jets.
Jay. The
Bro,
Jets.
watch this. Why you say that? But I'm telling you, can turn that team around if you got the right coach.
The Jets. Who
Gase
wants
was
to
never the right coach. Gase was never the right coach.
The Jets is trash. Absolute trash.
Sorry, Larry. Melanie, how do you
Let's see,
listen
hold on,
to bullshit for this long?
Oh my goodness.
I want to say this. Hold on, Logan. I want to say this. Now I seen what the Houston Texans said they wanted for Deshaun Watson. Y'all not gonna get that. Did y'all see what they wanted? They not gonna get that. Watson is a superstar. He's a superstar, but he ain't Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I know. Well, Stafford got 2 first-rounders, and I think they were basing it off of that particular trade. I'm guessing. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it personally, but I'm pretty sure it's probably around 3 or 4 draft picks in the first round.
Houston want everything in the kitchen sink. If I was Deshaun Watson, I'd go to the Washington football team and sit my butt down because you want to hold out, you want to leave. You earn your trade value, fool.
That's the thing, though. You know what? This is the second time I heard, or the fourth time I've heard this, and I saw it again today. Where even Warren Moon was saying that he talked to Watson, and Watson says that he likes Salah, and Watson likes the Jets. I'm telling you, don't be surprised if he goes to the Jets.
Who the Jets gonna give? Jets don't got
nobody. They got a good draft pick.
If I was the Jets, I'd be really smart.
Don't be surprised if you see Darnold, the number 2 draft pick, and the number 3, and then the next year's. I bet you they get 2 or 3 first rounders and Darnold. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets make that move.
They not. They'll be stupid. I wouldn't. If I was the Jets, I'd get Devontae Smith. Sam Darnold, if he can stop seeing ghosts, he'll be all right. Just get Devontae Smith, and get a line.
Stop seeing them damn ghosts.
Be all right. But he can't stop seeing ghosts. That's it. He can stop seeing them ghosts. He's gonna be all right. And no, Jay, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're gonna be trash too. They're gonna blow their picks, like I've been telling everybody. They're gonna blow their picks, every last one of them. And Urban Meyer gonna get sick again. He's gonna have them migraines. He's gonna have chest pains. He about to.
Hey, what do you think? Let me ask you this question: what do you think about Jacksonville Jaguars if they kept Garner Minshew as their starter, but use those draft picks, to build up the offensive line, trade down out of the number 1 spot for more draft picks and draft good offensive linemen to put in front of Minshew?
They're not gonna do that, Jay. And Matthew ain't gonna be the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence will be the quarterback in Jacksonville.
No, I know they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
We need to get wrapped up for this evening.
All right, let's go.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching our show this evening.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thanks, Pete. Of course, we're sponsored by BS3 Radio and Northeastern Streaming Sports. I'm sorry, I have a hard time saying that. We're on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:00 Eastern Time, Saturdays at noon Eastern Time. Like and share us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube under Unscripted and any of these guys' names. We want to say a special thank you to Pete for coming on tonight, and a special thank you to all of our viewers who have made our show so great by adding to and commenting with us. Y'all have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.